Okay, fourth garden tour of 2025. We're starting here with the blueberries, which are pretty much done. There's one tiny little baby one there, but not much else. This variety, I don't know if it's going to make it for me. It does already have some kind of browning spots happening, um, but we'll see. I'll definitely at least give it, well, I'm going to leave it until it dies and I have to remove it. So, but we'll see what happens there. This other blueberry, though, this variety has been the best. Like, since I've gotten it, it's produced well. Um, well meaning like, 10 to 15. But it's done really good. It's coming back really well from me almost killing it a year or two ago. And now it's kind of thriving. So that one looks great. Have another little blueberry down here that's doing pretty good. And I really don't know the varieties of like any of these. And then we have the fig here, which apparently the grasshoppers love. It's a very big grasshopper on there, which also explains why all the leaves are like gone. It's from the grasshoppers. But there are some figs on here, which is fantastic. This is my first year that this tree has actually produced anything, so that's great. So lots of figs. And then let's not forget our sweet potatoes over here. They're doing good and climbing all onto the deck and everywhere else. They're just going crazy. Problem with this is I tend to forget to water them because they're over here in the corner. My thought process was they're next to the hose, so I'll remember them. But I usually have the hose kind of pulled out to the other pots and stuff, and then I forget these guys. So they're pretty strong sweet potatoes in that they're still surviving. Then here in bed one, the sorrel is doing really good. That's the hibiscus plants. Doing great. The cabbage, it's not really, their season is kind of over because we're getting so hot, but they're still hanging on. They haven't bolted yet. We had a lot of caterpillar damage, which is why they look like this. And I was a little naive in thinking that, oh, they'll just eat a little bit and then move on, but they didn't. They decimated basically every plant before I started actually doing anything about them. So yeah, but lessons learned for next year. We have an African marigold doing well right there. Then if we go into the next bed, another African marigold coming, some coreopsis, or not coreopsis, some cornflowers or bachelor buttons. Jalapeno plant here, which does have a couple peppers on it that I need to pick. There's a cosmos back there. There's a hollyhock. There's a scotch bonnet. Here's one of those Turkish sweet peppers with a few, one pepper and one teeny tiny baby pepper on it. This is another type of pepper. It's a very hot pepper. This is like the miracle plant that it's still alive because the stem was kind of broken from when it was inside like sprouting. So don't know how that one's still alive. It's another cosmos there. The poppy is just about done. This is the perilla leaf with a zinnia behind it. A shishito pepper here. And the coulis thyme, like a variegated version, or Cuban oregano. And then here we have Spanish oregano, which just will not stand up for me. It just likes to grow over the side of that bed. We have a Spanish lavender, another hollyhock back there, another scotch bonnet in the back, a strawberry in the back, and a coreopsis, a white coreopsis, which is the flower, in the back. All right. And harvested two of my regular potato, purple potato. So I got about 6 potatoes out of those. And then still need to harvest this one and that one. And then here is sweet potato. So the first sweet potatoes we saw were purple sweet potatoes. These are the regular sweet potatoes here and there. And then once I harvest the potato out here, I'll put more sweet potato slips in. And then into this third bed, we have the blue mealy sage. here. It's doing well. I think actually I should probably cut it back and it might bloom again. I'm not 100% sure though, because we're getting so hot. And then this is a carrot that went to seed. I really wanted to see the blooms, which are really pretty, of the carrot. This is all the beans that I actually planted as a cover crop, so I should have cut them down like a while back and just left them on the soil to kind of feed the soil, but I didn't cut them back. They did produce some, which I don't think I'm supposed to let them do, but I need to just cut them back and set them on the soil. And then in there is also some mint. There's mint kind of throughout this bed. So this is a bed that I need to work on. And we can see lots of grass coming into the bed. And then here is a cucumber, which is just trying to hold on, trying to survive. It's doing okay though. It used to have a cucumber on it. There it is. I think it's just not gonna make it based on the size of the plant and the heat. Here's another cucumber plant, which I was out of town for a couple days, came back and like half the plant was missing. Not sure what happened because I don't think we got storms or anything, but a good portion of it's gone. While we're here, before we move on with more about the cucumber, here is the grapes, which are doing really well, but definitely have some discoloration on the leaves, and I'm not sure if that is like a fungus or something that attacks grapes. So I'm gonna have to research that one. But back to the cucumber. So it did produce some really big cucumbers. You can see one down here. This is a Turkish variety, so they're very, very long. And so I don't know if it was the weight of that maybe that caused it to snap, but you can see like all of this, there used to be climbing up over the trellis and it's gone now. Plant is still alive, but I don't know for how much longer after that kind of trauma. And then we have regular basil here and some more of the cornflower or bachelor buttons, just different color. This one is done so good. It's great when you see it like from the house and you just see all these flowers kind of falling out of the bed. It looks great. There's another African marigold, which has done amazing. There's a Scotch bonnet under there. And then this one is a shishito plant, pepper plant, which is also doing really good. Lots of peppers on there. And then we have an eggplant, which I think I'm gonna harvest this one today. It's done really good, this tree. We have nasturtium back here, where the flowers and the leaves are edible, but they're also used as a pest deterrent. And there's a marigold under there, which is another pest deterrent. And then this pepper, have it marked as a jalapeno, but it doesn't really look like a jalapeno shape, and I still haven't tried one. But I've given it to people, and I think they said it is spicy. So, but like hotter than a jalapeno, I think. We'll see. I grew a lot of jalapenos this year because I wanted to make candied jalapenos, which should be kind of like a sweet and spicy type deal. But I don't want a pepper that's too hot for that. We have more African marigold, and then we have the tomatoes, which are very, very ready to be picked. I'm gonna pick a lot of tomatoes today. And then we have more cornflowers doing well here. We have the African basil, which is doing really well too. I really got this one for the blooms and the flowers more than the actual basil itself. Here in the front, we have a purple tomatillo. Nothing on it yet. This is kind of a hard plant to contain. This is my first year being this successful with it, and it's definitely tricky to support and not have it snap. In the next bed we'll see one that did snap, but like it's such a spread out plant. I mean, it's all the way over here and then it comes back and then it goes all the way back there, so it's a very spread out plant, which makes it hard to know where to support it. Then under there's also another Turkish pepper, the long peppers there, and a little strawberry I think we skipped over there. I do have strawberries just kind of dotted throughout the garden, just to see where they do best. Here's another zinnia. And this is another jalapeno plant. See, these actually look like regular jalapenos. So, not sure what the other one is. Back behind the zinnia, that's kind of hiding it, is another shishito pepper plant back there with peppers on it. In the very, very back, we have a lemongrass or fever grass. And then this is the other purple tomatillo. Like I was saying, it actually snapped right down there at the base. I taped it back together, so hopefully. But yeah, it was so spread out, the weight on both sides just caused the base to snap. So then I got all these extra supports in here to try and support the branch as we go along. Really big tree, but no fruit just yet. I'm hopeful though, since both survived. They need a buddy to pollinate, so since both plants survive, I'm really hopeful, like when I look at something like this, that will actually become fruit. So, speaking of fruit, under it is probably the biggest strawberry plant that I have, and it's actually sending out runners. There's one there, and there's one towards the back, and I'm just gonna let it do it, just kind of see what happens. If it could spread and kind of, it won't take over the bed, but just kind of be all throughout this bed, I think that would be great. Here's another African marigold. I really need to deadhead. We can see there are some buds that are coming along, so I need to get rid of all these dead ones. I do want to save some seeds though, because they've done so well this year. And there's a white coreopsis back there as well. And if we come over here, we have the Barbados cherry fruit tree. And the pineapple guava back there, which I was like, is it looking like it needs water? I did just water it, or is it getting ready to fruit? I'm not sure, like flowering fruit, not 100% sure. And this patch of the wildflower bed is actually looking like a wildflower meadow, which is very exciting. Have a lot of different plants coming up here. The purple ones are the kind of a weed for me. If you look, they're everywhere. But like, I think these are black-eyed Susans, the yellow ones. Those are good. The cornflower, it was an African blanket that's almost done now. Whatever this guy is going to be, like, those are all ones that I wanted to just add some diversity along with the purple ones that are everywhere. This is the desert willow, and there is a bloom on it, which is exciting. Right back there, a nice bloom with more to come. Very, very happy about this. I love the blooms on this plant, and there are supposed to be attractors for hummingbees as well. So hopeful that it will do well. I moved it more to the front of this area, and this is the first time it's bloomed. I mean, I bought it about 1.5 years ago, and the first bloom, so I'm excited about that. We're gonna take a little detour. Normally we don't come over here, but I do want to show off these crepe myrtles, which a crepe myrtle is not super special, but these are, because I actually planted these early 2020 before lockdown and all of that happened, and then they were mowed down a couple times actually, and they've grown back, and this is their first time flowering. So I noticed them coming back last year. Like, they were mowed down, they were gone for like a year or two, and then last year they decided to come back, and now here they are blooming, and it's very, very exciting. We can see that one over there really has a lot of blooms on it, even though it's also the shortest. So I'm very, very happy that these decided to come back and that they're doing so well. While we're over here, this is also more of like a perennial bed that I was planting, trying to do like low maintenance, native-ish plants. There's also a lot of weeds. So all of these guys are those purple ones that I'm talking about. So try and get rid of those. But we see the salvias. We have some white salvia. We have some pink salvia. And this bed really gets no attention. Like, once they're watered in after planting, I don't really come back and water them anymore. So they're just totally on their own, and they're doing well. This is a lemon bee balm that I planted this year. The salvias have been in from last year. Salvia, more salvias. This one has done so well this year. This purple one, it had like big like bumblebees on it, which was very exciting. These are 4-nerve plants I just planted just to kind of add a little bit more different color in here. At least 2 of them survived, so we'll see from there. And then we also have catmint in here, which has done really well. It's really taking over. So the idea for me was that it would spread that way and kind of smother out these weeds that want to come up, but it's deciding to go towards the front, so we'll see what happens. And then as we come over, we have our pomegranate here, which is doing well. And this one I moved from the back, and it looks very happy. So I know I won't get anything this year, but I'm glad that it looks so much happier. There is a plum tree back there, nice and tall, and again more of that wildflower meadow look, which is what I wanted in this area. And then we have our pear tree here. Sorry, we're gonna look in towards the sun, but a nice pear tree there. It's doing well. The one pear is still holding on. And then in this side of beds, we have another blue sage. It's doing really good. There are some onions in here, which aren't getting really big, but they're still alive. This one that went to bloom, that was a leek. I'm probably definitely gonna let it just finish its whole cycle here. Maybe collect some seeds, maybe just let it drop some. These are the blackberries, which I need to come in and just start cutting some away because there's just way too many in this bed. I know that this is what the fruit for next year will be produced on, but it's still just too much. I have to add some airflow or something in there. And then under all of that, we do have another African marigold there. And then this bed has a lot going on. So we have the Korean mint here in the front, which is in the Agastache family. It's a type of Agastache. We have the tomato, and it had a nice, really pretty tomato on it. This is like the orange heart tomato variety, which is like a bigger tomato, especially compared to the cherry tomatoes we have on the other side. And then I was really excited about it. Came home one day and it was on the ground. I don't know if it was a squirrel or something like that got to it. But we also have a watermelon there, which is great. And the watermelon has decided to trail across the ground. So hopefully more watermelons. That would be fantastic. This is a huckleberry that volunteered itself here, and I kind of just left it. I tend to leave volunteers. Under there is a stock plant, that purple plant. Oh, the huckleberry has huckleberries on it. It's exciting. So I grew huckleberry last year, but I never actually harvested anything. So maybe I will harvest this year. And then we have the white marigold here. And we have snapdragons down there. More huckleberries. Lots of huckleberries. Lots of tomato plants. No tomatoes. And then here we have another zinnia. And we have a Scotch bonnet here, which is the best looking Scotch bonnet I have right now. And then we have more zinnia there. Another eggplant in the back. And I have a shishito down here. And look at this cosmos. These flowers are so pretty. Cosmos is really doing fantastic there. And then this cucumber. I'm not sure what happened to this cucumber because I harvested on it Thursday morning. It was looking great. Thursday night, it looked like this, and it has not come back. So I'm not really sure what happened to it between Thursday morning and Thursday evening. But yeah, something must have happened, and I don't think it will recover. So I think that cucumber is done. And then in our final bed here, we have a lavender martini agastache here. We have more zinnias. I love that all the zinnias have just been random different colors too. It's great. Some of them, like the ones in this bed, volunteered themselves. And I think this one volunteered because it's in a pretty inconvenient place. So I think that volunteered itself as well. There's some chives. There is another Turkish pepper back there. And then this big one here is a climbing rose, which I need to get tied back and trimmed back. And then up here have a massive sunflower, which also volunteered. I did not plant that sunflower. And so there we go. Let's wrap around to the other side of this bed and take a peek at the dahlias, which have done amazing this year. Definitely their best year. This was planted in 2019, fall of 2019. The nursery told me it would bloom that year. It didn't. And then last year was the first year it bloomed. It took like 4 years. And I got a few blooms. And this year it has just taken off completely. So many blooms. We almost forgot a little strawberry down here. And a little strawberry down here. Along with another stock plant. White marigolds here. More roses. There's another jalapeno plant and stuff that digs in the bed because my plant marker is over here. And another plant over here, which I'm not quite sure what it is. The way it's starting to bud up and bloom, it looks like a basil, but I did not have basil in this bed, and I didn't get a basil smell from it, so I'm not sure. Oh, there's also scallion, just kind of everywhere in all the beds. All right, so we're gonna end on this sunflower here, which is just determined to bloom, even though, I don't know if it was wind or something knocked it over. It volunteered here, obviously, and it is blooming, and getting ready to send out more blooms. So I've left it alone because it really wants to bloom. And so that is the 4th garden tour of 2025. Everything is looking pretty good.